What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So, we're continuing with the spooky season series, and this is my second makeup look that I'm posting, and I decided to do a skull, and I feel like I've grown so much when it comes to my skulls. Like, I did a skull around this time last year, and it was just with glitter, and I only did, like, the top part of my face, so it's kind of fun to see, like, me, like, keep, like, trying it every couple months or whatever, and, like, just trying to, like, up myself every time, because the last skull I did was actually for Pride Month. I did, like, the trans colors, and basically it was, like, I think light blue, like, white and pink, and I think the light blue was like my entire face. And I had been thinking about gold and purple for a good little minute, and I was like, that would actually be like a really cute color scheme. So that's how we ended up here. And the first thing I decided to do was actually just go ahead and do like my eye area. So I'm taking the purple, which I'm basically going to be using for everything besides like the actual like skull in itself, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm using these play pigments from Trixie Cosmetics. I like these. Like, I either use these or the Nessa Myers Color Fix, like whenever I'm doing like my fun like face paint looks. I just feel like they're really good to work with, and I feel like these are actually pretty good like eyeshadow like bases and stuff. So I wanted to add some dimension, so I took this lighter purple that I have and I just applied it to the areas that didn't have that purple on there, and I'm just using the same brush to blend it out. Like, when it comes to like me doing like my eyes, or like whenever I'm trying to figure out like what I should do first with my makeup, I feel like whatever makes the most sense. Usually I do start with my eyes or my brows, because that's usually where I like start with my normal makeup routines, and I just feel like it would be easier to go ahead and just do my eyeshadow and stuff before I even like think about doing my face, because I feel like it would just make more sense. Sometimes when I'm doing these like looks and stuff, I'm just like trying different methods. I'm trying to figure out, okay, like what did I struggle with the last time, or what do I feel like I wish I would have changed with my routine the last time, and I just try to take into consideration whenever I'm like doing another like version of a look. And I decided to go ahead and do my nose too, just because like might as well not. And like, I didn't do like my like cheeks or whatever, just because I didn't really know how I wanted to lay out the like skull. But I used the same method. I used that dark purple to like outline the space, and then I took that light purple pigment and I'm just setting it with some translucent powder just to kind of like make sure it is set. Even though like most of these products that I use, like they dry down matte, I just like to set it. It just like helps with like ease of mind. I just feel like it makes like me feel like more secure on my makeup, like, okay, like this is actually gonna stay. And I decided to use the Smoke Sessions 2 palette from Milk Cosmetics. I bought this like a couple months ago because they were having like a little sale on like the like basically like the 420 inspired like makeup products and stuff. So I was like, might as well get it. And I like the color scheme. I feel like whenever I'm doing a purple look, 9 times out of 10 I do go for this palette. I try to switch it up, so I'm not like using like the same colors all the time. But if you know me, you know I love a good cut crease, so I usually start with whatever is like closest to my lightest shade, and like that's why I blend it out in majority of the area. And I'm just like fine tuning, like trying to smoke it out a little bit by adding like a darker purple like around my crease area. And I usually go above my crease because I do cut my crease a little bit higher. And then just for like the lighter shadow, I decided to use like this like pinkish like purplish color that they had in the palette. I at first was like scared because I was like, is this gonna make sense? But I feel like it worked out pretty well. And then I do go back and forth. You don't always see it in my like videos and stuff, but I do go back and forth with those brushes just to like blend it and make sure everything looks a little bit seamless. And I feel like this is one of my favorite eye looks that I've done in a good little minute. And I'm using the Fractal Eye Pad. I believe this is Apollo Empire. This is from About Face, and usually I use these to cut my crease because I feel like they're great bases, especially if you want to add a shimmer to it. So to like just make everything pop, I'm taking the Stone palette and I took like that goldish shade first, and I just added to the outer part of my cut crease. And then I decided I wanted to like make it like an ombre moment, so you'll see me come in a second with like the champagne color. And yeah, I love this palette. I've had this for a good little minute, and these are some of the best shimmers that I've ever used. I like to like apply them on top of like a primer or like a liquid eyeshadow, just because I feel like it makes the shadow just pop a little bit more and be a little bit more pigmented. And of course I'm gonna do my under eye, so I decided to just go ahead and do my entire eye, which meant like doing my under eye area. And I use like the same colors I use above my eye, and I'm just using them with like smaller brushes, just the way I can like control where the eyeshadow goes. And I usually do this anyway because I feel like it helps like the eyeshadow look like look a little bit more seamless. And it also helps with my under eye area because I do have bags under my eye, and I feel like since I've started like taking my eyeshadow underneath my eye, I feel like I haven't really noticed like my eyeshadow creasing. I mean, it's gonna crease, like you can see the creases, but it doesn't like separate, because like used to I would have like my concealer right there, my concealer would separate when I would like look at my pictures, and I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking with it. And of course I'm using my About Face Shadow Stick and Kill the Lights, my favorite eyeliner for my like waterline. And now I'm gonna go ahead with this Color Fix from Nessa Myers Beauty. I ended up like actually like doing like an ombre effect with them, and I don't normally use this golden goldish color. It's kind of like a champagne-y, like dirty gold color, if that makes any sense. But I basically outline around my eye area, and once I do that, you'll see me like move on around my face. But I like to use a flat like concealer brush because I feel like it just is a little bit easier for me to control, and also like it helps when you're trying to like round that circle out as much as possible, and it covers a bigger area. And I was trying to like blend it out, but baby, them hoes was on there for too long, like they were dried down. And then I'm just basically right now I'm mapping out the rest of the school, so I'm like adding like step by step, like, you know, trying to take my time because I kind of go with the flow of my face. I used to look at reference pictures, but I feel like once I like start doing stuff, I kind of like know what I'm doing in a sense. I just gotta like figure out like where I exactly want everything to be. So I'm just outlining everything because I'm gonna go in with like a yellow gold after and apply that into the middle area. And now I'm just basically adding like the little like jawline for my bottom part of the skull face. And yeah, I like to use color fix because I feel like they're very pigmented, and then if I wanted to go in with a shimmer on top, they would really pop. So now you see me taking this yellowish gold. I believe this is 24K. And when you're working with the color fix, especially in like big areas like this, like, is it necessarily like recommended to use these for that? No, but I'm gonna do it anyways. But as you see, like, you have to like apply a little bit at a time because this does kind of dry down. It doesn't dry down like fast, but like if you're trying to do your like face, like you want to do it in sections. That way it doesn't dry down by the time like you get to that section. And yeah, I'm just blending it out with this Blend My Everything brush from Beats by Deb Cosmetics. This is actually a really good like complexion brush. I really do like it. I might buy like another one because when I find like good like foundation or like base brushes, like, you know, I need to have multiple because whenever like I'm like really in the mood, like I will do like multiple makeup looks in the weekend if I have enough time or energy to. So it's like when it comes to me like washing my brushes, I do not like washing my makeup brushes. So, you know, me having multiples of things like kind of helps the process that way. You know, if I need to do a makeup look, you know, I can still do it, and then I'll just like wash my like brushes afterwards or whatever, instead of like having to like wait to make sure that like my brushes are dry before I can do a makeup look, because they do take like a good, I feel like 24 hours to dry, and maybe a little bit under, depending on like, you know, if they're sitting in like an area with like some like light, like the sunlight or whatever. But now that I have like the gold like go ahead and like set in place, I'm taking that purple again, and I'm basically outlining the areas that I didn't fill in with the gold. So I'm doing like my like jaw area, if that makes sense, and you'll see me leave like my like mouth area alone because I will be using like white for that area, and I'm gonna like draw on some grills basically. I don't know, I love like doing like grills when I do like my skull face paint because I just feel like it just makes sense, and I feel like, you know, the ancestors would definitely be proud of it. But yeah, I feel like this skull in particular, I don't know, like it feels like very ancestral in a way because of just like the designs that you'll see me do afterwards. And then I feel like the gold and the purple, you know, that's really associated with like royalty. So yeah, I love like just allowing like me to like create certain things and just like playing with certain like, you know, designs and stuff, because I feel like I start finding my flow in like the makeup looks I like to actually do. And I'm just like going back in over like the areas of purple where I kind of like went into the gold a little bit, and then I'm using a hydrating setting spray to spray my face. I like to do this with my normal makeup looks, but especially with my face paint looks, I like to use my hydrating setting spray throughout like the layers and stuff. That way my face doesn't get too dry, because, you know, these products, some of these products I'm using, they're not necessarily made for your like face to cover all over your face, and they are like more matte. Oh my god, they're usually more matte like products, or like things that are supposed to be like, you know, kind of long wear. So that means that, you know, sometimes they can be a little bit drying. But anyways, I want the purple to stand out a little bit, so I decided to take this like loose pigment from Question Beauty, which is a New Zealand brand, I believe. And yeah, I'm basically just outlining the area, and then you'll see me go in a little bit later on with like a lighter purple. I don't know, I feel like it just added like to the dramatics of it, because yes, my face is gold, and, you know, I already have like a cut crease and stuff, but when it comes to my makeup look, I feel like I'm always like just adding the most like just dramatic and extra stuff, just because why not, like why not be even more extra, if you feel me. But yeah, I'm using like a small like blending brush, just way I can like kind of like control the pigment and not get it like too like crazy, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want it to be everywhere. And I'm taking this loose pigment from Jelly Wing Cosmetics. It's a lighter purple, so I feel like that would just be good to like add a little bit more dimension. Whenever I'm doing my makeup looks like this, I do try to at least use like a base color and either a lighter color or like a shadow color, just to make everything pop, because I feel like that's really like how you make certain makeup looks like look really good, is if like they have somewhat of a dimension to them. And I'm basically using the white like pigment, play pigment from Trixie Cosmetics to go over like my mouth area to basically take the place of like where I'm gonna draw these teeth on. So yeah, this is kind of like how I did the last look. So I kind of just like went with like the same technique that I did last time. And I probably could have used like my color face from Nessa Myers Beauty, but I don't know. I've been trying to like use like different products and like really highlight other products, that way I'm not using the same thing 24/7 every single video. But I really do like the play pigments, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I had like 4 shades at first, and then like Trixie Cosmetics had like a sale a couple months ago, and I literally bought almost the rest of the collection, just because like I use them for everything, and I feel like they really do help, like, you know, when it comes to my makeup looks and stuff, because I had a different like way or method of me doing my colorful makeup looks like earlier this year. And I feel like this like process that I do now, I feel like it's easier to remove, and also it's like not as hard to remove from like my makeup brushes, because like the cream product I was using, I feel like it was just so much of a hassle to even like try to like get it off of my makeup brushes, which kind of made me not want to use it that much, because if it takes me like minutes to like clean one makeup brush, it's gonna take me forever, because I have like I feel like I have a solid 100 brushes. I might have more than that, I'm not gonna lie to you. But anyways, I'm using this bronzer, or it's actually I think a highlighter from REM Beauty. And yeah, I'm using this to add some more dimension. Like I said, the dimension, the shadow or the highlights really does make things pop. And I just think about it like how I would do like my art and stuff. So yeah, I'm just adding like wherever I want it to be a little bit darker. And I feel like this worked pretty well. But yeah, I want to add some more details just to make it stand out a little bit more. And I will smooth out those edges. So I'm taking a clean like a blending brush right now and going over like the edges of where I added that highlighter, just so it looks a little bit more seamless and not as choppy, if that makes any sense. So I'm probably gonna do another skull makeup look soon. I did this like video back in I think like August or something, so it's been a little second since I've done a skull makeup look. But I was thinking like teal. That's my baby. He was over here just being silly. But anyways, I really want to do like teal and maybe like a brown. I feel like it gives like that Y2K like color scheme. I love that. And maybe I'll do a plaid skull. That could actually eat, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know, like I'm still planning some stuff out. Like I have a good amount of like makeup videos already filmed for spooky season, but you know, I don't know, I've just like been in the mood to like just paint and stuff and just do my face and just try different things. It's actually like fun. I don't know, like it's a hobby to me, but it's also like a creative outlet, and it's something to just like, you know, give me something to do in a sense. And I like editing the videos and actually just like posting about these looks. I don't know, like it's a vibe. I feel like I was just like trying to get my stuff out there, but now it's just like fun to me in a sense. And I feel like I took a little break just because I needed a break, like plus like, you know, starting at a new school, it has been a very interesting journey so far. Like the first quarters were basically done, but girl, like this year, like first quarter was giving like third quarter, and that scares me because oh my god, like if you know, like it shouldn't feel like it's already almost the end of the school year. Like I mean, like the craziness of that time period, but girl, it does. But yeah, I feel like I've been able to like, you know, get back into my groove of things. You know, I was adjusting to a new way of life, you know, essentially. And now I feel like, you know, I got it, and I'm like able to like incorporate the things that like, you know, I'm used to doing now. And yeah, I have a little new routine, but I like to do like makeup looks on the weekend. I think it's like something to just give me something to do, because if not, I'll literally just sit in bed and just like watch fucking Hulu or whatever, because I love Bob's Burgers. Like I don't know, I feel like as a teacher, I feel like I get so overstimulated, because like you're trying to create, or like you're trying to like manage the energy in the classroom of like multiple, like 20 something kids. Like that's a lot. And you know, I feel like on the weekend I just like need a recharge, especially if it's been a busy week. Like I just need to breathe, and sometimes I just like the silence and being able to just like sit and not necessarily do anything. That way I can recharge, because girl, if I don't recharge, like I'd be like running on E, and ain't nobody got time for that, because then I'd be just like exhausted. But yeah, you know, for this gold look, I had to be even more extra and add rhinestones. Well, technically they're like these gold pearls I get from Getstone, and most of my like rhinestones come from Getstone. I do have a couple things from Manic Gems, but Manic Gems recently closed a couple months ago, which I hate to see. But I still have some there like rhinestones and stuff, so I'm gonna use them because why the hell not? But yeah, I was just going in with a couple different like rhinestone packs, just because like I've been using a lot of rhinestones in the last couple of months, and I'm like at the point where like I'm gonna have to restock on certain like products and stuff, just because like I'm running low, and like majority of them come with like 6 sizes, like if you get like the regular size from Getstone. And like I use like certain ones all the time, so it's like I get left with like the ones that like are just like tinier and they just don't take up as much space, and I like the bigger ones or like the medium sized ones for majority of my makeup look. So yeah, I'll probably have to do a restock video, but that'll probably be like around like Black Friday, because I don't plan on buying any more makeup. Like I ain't got it right now, and I'm just trying to use everything that I have so I can be resourceful. And I don't necessarily need some things, but it's like I know that like there's some products that I love to use that I've been running out of in the last like couple weeks. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make like a whole like makeup list of what I need to restock on. And you know, maybe we'll do restock series, because I like doing restock series. But yeah, whenever I put on rhinestones on my face, the easiest way, bless you, the easiest way for me to like put the rhinestones on is to use like clear lash glue, and I'll put some on like the back of my hand, because I have like these hand palettes I use when I do my makeup. Those are like the plastic things that you see me like put on my hands like in the beginning of videos. Yeah, I get them from Amazon, or that's the last place I got them from. I know that Desamaris Beauty has some, but like it's a lower like count of them in there, and I just got them like the bigger pack from Amazon for like when I do like makeup and stuff on clients. But I also like to use them on my personal makeup. But yeah, I'll put like a little bit of like clear lash glue in the back of my hand, and then I'll like put the clear lash glue wherever I want it on my face. And then I'll take like the spoolie I used for my brows earlier, and I'll take the back end of it and like dip it into the clear lash glue on my hand, and then I'll use that to pick up the rhinestone like from the top first. That way like the bottom is like sticking up in the air, because it's easier to place it that way. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing. I could have so much footage, like y'all, I probably had like 30 minutes worth of me putting these like rhinestones on, probably more than that, because I like stopped the camera at multiple points, because I was like, I'm not gonna edit a video that's already like 8 minutes long, like, and I had one video that was like 12 minutes long, but that's really crazy. But now I'm just like adding the details and stuff from my like mouth area or like my teeth, and I'm using the color fix to basically just like create like fake teeth in a way, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I like these, and I like to add the little like lighter color in the middle just to make them pop a little bit more. Like I said, we're trying to create dimension, which helps make things look a little bit more realistic, if that makes any sense. It makes it just stand out a little bit more and not be as flat or 2D. But yeah, I like this brush. This is a brush from what's it called, Moto Brush. You'll see on my Instagram like details, so definitely check it out there. And then I'm spraying my face with that Scratch by Cat setting spray, and that's like a longer wear. I think you're supposed to use like, I think that's supposed to be like a fixative spray or something, I don't even know, but I use it how I use it. And now I'm just adding some black lash glue to my lashes. I had used like some black mascara, because like I had added a color to like the end of like the lashes, so I was like trying to cover it up. And I'm just using some black liner to outline the teeth, just to make them pop out a little bit more. This also took a little second, and this is a liquid liner from Ulta Beauty, which I was running out, like I was running low on, so it was like kind of difficult. Like I was having to keep going over areas just because I didn't have that much product left. And like yeah, I had to toss it like recently because I ran out of product. So that's another thing I need to get, is another like liquid liner. I have one, but it's like I can tell that I'm probably gonna have to get something by the end of October, just because it's gonna run out. And I'm adding some rhinestones to my teeth, because why not? I want it to be dramatic, I told y'all. So yeah, I used like one of the Manic Gem sets. It was the Flynn like mermaid set from like a year or two ago, and I'm just adding like random details I just feel like would match. And then I decided to add these champagne rhinestones from Getstone all around the gold teeth, and I just cut out majority of the footage because it was like repetitive, and like, you know, it takes me a good little second to do this. So I was like, yeah, I'm not about to edit this much, like, you know, of me putting on these rhinestones. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit short. And I'm putting on my lashes now. I like to make sure my lashes get tacky before I put them on, because if they're like, you know, you just put the lash glue on and you're picking them back up, sometimes it's hard to stick because it's not really as tacky, if that makes sense. And the tackiness helps it stick a little bit better. But yeah, after I put them on, I went ahead and like added the rest of the rhinestones to my teeth so I can finish up this look. But yeah, how are y'all feeling about spooky season? What are y'all looking forward to? What are any like fun plans that y'all are gonna do? I would love to go like to a pumpkin patch or something like that. I feel like that would be fun. But I'm like, damn, who's gonna go to the pumpkin patch with me? Like, I don't want to go by myself, but because I don't know, that gives like horror movie vibes, and I'm not finna be in no cornfield, you know, slashed up. But anyways, this is the final look. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I just want to say I love y'all so much, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.